Let me just share that disclaimer one last time. Okay, so as I was saying, if you can, on the last point about living alongside loss, can you tell us a bit more then about how your life is like a washing machine, and how that, I suppose, explanation can transfer in terms of, you know, the experiences of our families and what they might be going through?
Absolutely. Thank you, Pete. So Benjamin Franklin said, nothing is certain except death and taxes. But with respect to Franklin, I'll paraphrase, nothing is certain except change and taxes. The consequences of change can be temporary, positive, negative, transient, neutral. Change in life circumstances, plans, health, financial status, jobs, schools, all but a few things that we experience through life. Where the consequences of this change are negative, we call it loss. The ultimate and most permanent of these is death. The question is, when we've lost something or someone and can never replace the time, the experience, or the person, how do we learn to live alongside this loss? I wish I could offer a magic potion, an elixir to make it all right. But what I can offer is that there will be times when you're overwhelmed and moments when you're not. Times when you're sad, angry, jealous, furious, frustrated, and any other emotion you can imagine, and moments when you're not. There will be times when you're out of control, and again, times when you're not. Our emotional states are normal and natural, and it's okay to be all of these things. But if it's okay to be them, it's also okay not to be too. So if today you're Tigger, get busy and distract yourself. If today you're Eeyore, you might need to find a comfort blanket or support from others. And if today you're Winnie the Pooh, you might need to be there giving support to help others. In the early days, you might have to be Tigger. Over time, you might notice Eeyore more and be looking to find your Winnie the Pooh, or you might be the Winnie the Pooh to somebody else's Eeyore. The one thing we know is time doesn't heal, but with time, things change. So I'd like to share with you something that helped a lady adjust to life after the death of her husband. She was asked, can you imagine that your life is like a washing machine? When we experience loss, the grief is like the washing placed deep in the heart of our washing machine. You know it's there, but it's just sitting there deep within you. Then something or someone comes along and presses the button, and the washing machine, that grief agitates inside your machine, hits the sides, makes itself known. There are times when the button pressed is actually for the full spin cycle, and all you can do is breathe until the cycle slows down to that agitation and gently settles back into just being there. The washing will need to be done at some time. The washing will need to be picked up and tended to from time to time, but it doesn't have to be on go all the time. So there are moments when we're doing what needs to be done. We're going to work, having a conversation with friends, getting the kids ready for school, doing the shopping, being on holidays, just some of the things that we will do. The grief is there. That washing's just sitting in our machine as we get on with everything we need to do. And then someone in the street you bump into, and they take a look at you. And just that look is enough to press that button. And that grief begins to well up inside of you. And that washing machine's beginning to agitate until you choke it back and apologize and regain control. Maybe Tigger comes along and helps you out with this one. Until you're in a safe place where you can allow that washing machine to go into full circle and that spin cycle to allow those tears to flow. And this too will pass, because life goes on until the next time. Whether it's the anniversary, the birthday, the chance conversation, a sympathetic look, that special place, a song on the radio, the spin cycle can kick in again. The song that was playing when my daughter was ill was one called I Wasn't Expecting That. And I know that that is one of those songs that can trigger it for me every time I hear it. So the cycle isn't restricted to loss through bereavement. It can affect us because any loss where we have an emotional impact can send our washing machine into this spin cycle. There's no time limit to grief, to doing normal stuff. Helps us do more normal stuff. And the more normal stuff we do, the more we can do. So throw yourselves into organizing and doing. Maybe it's a celebration of someone's life, planning a family get-together, organizing a packed lunch, volunteering. Whatever works for you, do it and do more of it. If it brings you joy, definitely do it. Until you don't need it, or something else or someone else steps in instead to distract you yet again. So whether you're facing the worst possible moment of your life, whether it's the funeral, the life stages before and after, there are times when you might be Tigger, Eeyore, or Winnie the Pooh. On our river of life, choppy waters, rapids, sometimes a tsunami can knock you off your course. Whatever it is, we will each find our own unique way of navigating it. But be kind to you as you would be to others. Seek help and support from others to help you with the navigation. Our experiences and the experiences that people we share them with form the who we are and the how we live our lives. Grief is as natural a part of the human cycle as are the emotions of joy. We grieve because the what or the who is important to us, an intrinsic part of who we are, and we're supposed to be part of our future, and not only supposed to be part of our past. So grief is as much about the potential losses of our future as it is the actual loss in the now, or the things that will never happen that we've experienced of the past. So if you're overwhelmed, it helps to bring focus into the now and to focus on the present in this moment of time, the person you're with, to focus on the person you are, to focus on this moment in time that you've been presented with. So it can really help to go one moment, 1 hour, 1 day at a time. And it can be really hard to bring your focus back into the here and now when you're feeling overwhelmed. So I'd like the opportunity to share with you a very simple exercise, which is a standard exercise for people who are overwhelmed or feeling anxious. I'll talk you through it. And if you wish to do this exercise with me now, then please do. Please make sure that you're not driving or somewhere where you're not in a safe place to just sit down and focus on the exercise. And it's simply about breath. So when we're anxious or stressed or overwhelmed, we tend to shallow breathe from the upper chest. With this exercise, when you breathe comfortably and deeply towards the abdomen, feeling your abdomen rise and fall. And that's the basis of this exercise. So I invite you to take a deep breath, long, slow, deep breath, and notice the rise and fall of your abdomen. We're going to connect to each of our 5 senses of sight and touch and sound and smell and taste, whilst breathing slowly and deeply, as comfortably as you can. So I invite you to take a deep breath, to look around the room and notice 5 things that you can name. And as you do that, just let the breath out slowly. And then as you take another deep breath in, look around, reach out and touch 4 things. And then allow the breath out slowly. And as you take another deep breath in, notice 3 things that you can hear. The sound of my voice, the laptop purring, maybe someone in the next room, birds outside your window. And let that breath out slowly. And taking another deep breath, noticing 2 things you can smell. Perhaps lunch is being prepared. And let that breath out slowly. And as you take in one more deep breath, notice 1 thing you can taste. perhaps the saliva in your mouth as you imagine the lunch you're soon to have. And allow that breath out nice and slowly. And you can repeat that exercise as often as you want or need. Notice how you feel. You might already feel just a little calmer. Maybe your thoughts are a little clearer. Maybe there's a sense of just being a little bit more in control. By taking a few moments to breathe, we become more connected with ourselves, aware and in the here and now, as we open up a space, if only for a moment, for us. As we breathe in deeply, we bring oxygen to our organs and most importantly, our brain. By doing that, we reduce the stress and anxiety hormones that are being released. And we create space for the hormones that allow us to feel more calm to come into our being. I encourage you to practice this when you don't need it, so that the moments when you do need it, you will feel much easier and more comfortable to do it. You can do it at home, you can do it when you're out for a walk. Just take the world in outside, listen to the birds, smell the grass, chat to your dog, whatever it is you're doing. Really be focused in the here and now, noticing the world around you. Other things that help people to live alongside their loss. This was mentioned to me only this week, and it's the first time I'd heard it. The Mexicans say we die 3 times. First, when our bodies die. Second, at the funeral, when we're out of sight. And third, when our loved ones forget us and we're out of mind. So if we didn't get to say goodbye, plan an event. It could be highly personal for you or a group, whatever has most meaning for you and your loved one. So it's about keeping them, continuing that bond of love with the person or the thing that was so important to you that's no longer there. So where someone was important to you, but can no longer physically be with us, help yourself and the upcoming generations know the person. Be as creative as you want to, memory blogs, boxes, write a story of their life, writing a letter to your loved one, telling them all the things you wanted them to hear, but didn't have time or couldn't say. Do something in their name. Create a family tree, use photos, events along the family timeline, involve other people with it. So you all get to know more and more about the wholeness of the family. Take time to talk to someone you trust, and most importantly, someone you feel safe with, because we cannot do anything to support ourselves if we don't feel safe in the environment or with the person. Do as many normal things as you can. The little things of life still go on. The bills don't stop coming in. The children still need to go to school, have clothes, and the 3-year-old still has needs in the same way as grown-ups do. Maybe create a routine. It may be a different routine to the routine you had before, but actively do something to take control of that routine. But always be kind to you. Our needs never fit into an organization's timeframes and processes, and bureaucracy there is lots of in our lives. It can be frustrating, annoying, and an unintended consequence of facing bureaucracy can be a really good outlet for very real anger that we may well be feeling. So sometimes that bureaucracy can just help us, but release it in a safe space. Accessing organizations like Mummy Star can offer you support and information will help. Asking questions, find the facts, gather information, get busy, be Tigger, be informed. All of that helps you make decisions. For it's a marathon and not a sprint. Life can be hard. Loss is definitely hard. And living with loss is hard work. But it's only you can do this. So remember, your life is like a washing machine. Watch out for the spin cycles and breathe your way through. You can be Tigger, Eeyore, or Winnie the Pooh, or anyone in between, because it's okay not to be okay. And importantly, it's also okay to be okay too. I'd like to end with the words of Dr. Lois Tonkin, who brought growing around grief to us. There's information about this in the resource pack that I'm giving to Mummy Star. Living with the losses of life is not so much about getting over them as finding ways to live with them and live a happy and full life that includes them. Grieving is an experience of making sense of our losses, of getting adjusted to a different life and different expectations, of growing around them. So thank you very much.